Zeus versus Shiva. Most people already picked a side before they clicked this video, and most of them are asking the wrong question. This isn't about lightning bolts, it isn't about temples or followers or battle power, it's about something that most mythology comparisons never touch. What does it actually mean to be the most powerful being in existence? Because when you really understand that question, this comparison stops being close. It stops being a competition. It becomes something else entirely. Zeus was not always a king, he was born one, but keeping power, that's different from inheriting it. His father Kronos swallowed every child born to him. Hera, Poseidon, Hades, all imprisoned inside their own father before they could become a threat. Zeus was saved by a trick, a stone wrapped in cloth, hidden in Crete, raised in secret. When he returned, he didn't negotiate. He went to war, 10 years, the Titanomachy, the old world against the new. He freed the Cyclopes and they forged his weapon, the Thunderbolt. He freed the 100-handed giants and turned them into armies. He won because he thought beyond brute force. He organized, he built alliances, he outmaneuvered a god who had already ruled all of creation. And when it was over, he restructured the cosmos. Sky, sea, underworld, each domain assigned, each boundary set. That's not luck, that's mastery. At his peak, Zeus is extraordinary. Let's be clear about that. Typhon, the most terrifying monster ever born, the creature that made every other god flee Olympus in terror. Ares abandoned his armor, Apollo abandoned his chariot, the gods of Olympus scattered. Zeus stood, he fought Typhon alone, lost ground, lost his own sinews, ripped from his body mid-battle, recovered, returned, and destroyed him with the Thunderbolt, imprisoned beneath Mount Etna, forever. No Greek god challenges Zeus directly, not Ares, not Apollo, not Poseidon. Even Hera, who opposes him constantly, never challenges his raw power. Only Typhon came close. Typhon lost. Zeus has foresight. He enforces divine law. He shapes fate. He is the apex of the Greek cosmos, the cloud gatherer, the thunderer, the father of gods and men. Within his domain, nothing compares. But here's what no one talks about. His domain has edges, and edges mean limits. The Greek cosmos is a system. It has rules, hierarchies, boundaries, the sky, the sea, the underworld, each governed, each defined. Zeus sits at the top of that system. He enforces it. He is its apex. But a system, by definition, is bounded. It exists within something larger than itself. Even Zeus cannot override fate entirely. The Moirai, the three fates, weave the thread of destiny for gods and mortals alike. Zeus negotiates with fate, he bends it, he cannot escape it, he is part of the universe, he operates within it, he commands everything inside it. So the real question isn't whether Zeus can be defeated inside the Greek cosmos. He can't. The real question is, what happens to the Greek cosmos itself? What happens to Olympus when existence ends? That's where Shiva begins. Find me Shiva's origin story. Find the moment he was created. Find his parents. Find the point in time before which Shiva did not exist. You can't, because there isn't one. Shiva is Swayambhu, self-created, self-existing. He did not come from something else. He was not born into the universe. He exists before the universe existed. He will exist after it ceases to exist. There is a story in the Puranas. Brahma and Vishnu, two of the most powerful beings in Hindu cosmology, were arguing about supremacy. As they argued, a pillar of infinite light appeared, a column of fire so boundless that neither could find its top or its bottom. Brahma flew upward for thousands of years. He never found the top. Vishnu dug downward for thousands of years. He never found the bottom. The pillar was Shiva, not a weapon, not a display of force, just his presence, infinite in both directions, with no beginning and no end. That's not a power level, that's a different category of existence. But let's talk about what Shiva can do. Kama, the god of love. In Hindu tradition, is one of the most powerful forces in the cosmos. He controls desire. He bends the will of gods and mortals alike. Even the mightiest beings are subject to longing. Shiva was in deep meditation. The other gods needed him distracted, so they sent Kama. He drew his bow, aimed an arrow of desire at the meditating god, released it. Shiva opened his third eye. One glance, Kama was reduced to ash, not wounded, not defeated, not imprisoned, ash, gone, erased from existence by the act of being seen. Zeus defeated Typhon with 10 years of war and the most powerful weapon ever forged. Shiva erased the cosmic force by opening his eye. That's not a difference in power level, that's a difference in category. And the third eye doesn't just destroy, it unmakes. Everything false, everything constructed, everything that only exists because it pretends to exist, gone. Zeus can destroy what he can reach. Shiva can unmake what is false, every false thing in existence. The third eye is only one aspect. There's something older, something that doesn't end a god. It ends everything. The Tandava, Shiva's cosmic dance. When Shiva dances it, truly, completely, without restraint, the universe ends. Not metaphorically, literally. Time collapses, space dissolves, every dimension of existence, every world, every plane, every god is not destroyed in battle, not conquered, ended. The way a dream ends when you wake up. This is pralaya, cosmic dissolution, creation, preservation, destruction. Brahma creates, Vishnu preserves, and when the cycle completes, Shiva dances, and everything returns to nothing. He doesn't do this out of anger, not out of war, not because he was challenged. This is his function, his role in the architecture of existence itself. Destruction isn't his weapon, it's his purpose. So what happens to Zeus when the Tandava begins? What happens to Olympus? To the thunderbolt? To the order Zeus spent 10 years building? It ends, along with everything else. Not because Zeus is weak, because Zeus is part of the universe. Here's the framework nobody uses: a system and a force. Zeus is the master of a system. The Greek cosmos has rules, hierarchies, boundaries. Zeus sits at the top. He enforces it. He defines it. Within that system, he is absolute. But a system exists within something larger than itself. Shiva is not a system. Shiva is the force that operates when systems collapse. He is what remains when everything else ends. He is what exists before everything begins. The difference isn't strength, it isn't power level, it isn't who burns brighter or hits harder, it's scope. Zeus operates within the universe. Shiva operates on the universe. Zeus commands what happens inside existence. Shiva determines what happens to existence itself. One controls the game. The other decides when the game ends. And that's not an insult to Zeus. That's just an honest description of what these two forces are. But here's what no one talks about. Shiva doesn't want any of this. Zeus fought for his throne. He planned it. He went to war for 10 years to claim it. He wanted to rule. He wanted the top. Shiva sat alone on Mount Kailash in meditation for thousands of years. The universe needed him. The gods needed him. They sent Parvati, the most devoted force in all of creation. She had to earn his attention over lifetimes. He has no interest in ruling, no interest in power. He doesn't need it. You don't seek what you already are. Zeus rules because he claimed the position. Shiva exists because existence itself requires him. One chose to be king, the other simply is what the universe cannot function without. And maybe that's the deepest difference of all. Not what they can do, but what they need. Zeus needs Olympus. He needs his domain, his thunder, his subjects. Shiva needs nothing. Power that needs to be exercised has limits. Power that simply exists doesn't. Zeus, born into conflict, survived impossible odds, won a 10-year cosmic war, defeated the most terrifying monster in existence, restructured the cosmos, rules it with absolute authority, the greatest king the Western world ever imagined. Shiva, no origin, no beginning, no end. Erases cosmic forces with a glance, ends the universe when its cycle completes, exists before time, exists after time, unmoved by need, by ambition, by the desire for power. Zeus rules the sky, Shiva exists beyond it. Zeus controls power, Shiva is power. In his world, within his system, nothing compares to Zeus. Nothing. But systems end, and when they do, there is only one force left. Not because he fought, not because he won, because he was never part of the system to begin with. So tell me, what kind of power do you want? The power to rule everything within existence, or the power to exist beyond everything that exists? Zeus is the answer to one question, Shiva is the answer to the other, so think about it.